We put together an expert panel to determine the greatest teams of all time. Let's take a look at that list, which was released today. Here's 6 through 10. Alabama checks in a couple times here. 2009, it was Nick Saban's first title with the Tide, and the 1979 Tide, Bear Bryant's last title at Alabama. And don't forget those Miami Hurricanes in 2001. They're at number 7. That produced 17 future first-round NFL draft picks. That seems awful low. All right, here's 5-1. The Clemson Tigers, last season, they check in at number 5, led by freshman Trevor Lawrence. The Tigers became the first team since 1897 to go 15-0 in a season. At number 4, the 95 Cornhuskers from Lincoln. That team, led by dynamic QB Tommy Frazier, dominated opponents, scoring 35 points at least in every game they played. Checking in at 3rd is the 1972 USC Trojan group. They beat 6 ranked opponents that season and were led by future Hall of Famer Lynn Swann, who we just discussed, who averaged 20 yards a catch. At number 2, another Trojan team, this one the 2004 group, led by Pete Carroll and Heisman winners Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. They won by 25 points a game average. The best team in college football history, gentlemen, the 1971 Nebraska Cornhuskers, led by future Heisman winner Johnny Rodgers. They held 10 of their opponents, guys, to less than 7 points and were able to win the game of the century over number 2 ranked Oklahoma 35-31. That is a hell of a list. What do you think, Galloway?
I think when people look at these lists, they got to realize this is on stats and numbers and what this team did in their particular season. It's not like you're saying that the 2001 Miami Hurricanes couldn't beat the 1971 Nebraska Cornhuskers. That's not a true statement. But if you look at what these teams have done in their stats, very impressive, all 10 teams, but it's always fun to look back and see those games that you forgot about and some of those players you forgot about. And it's very interesting in that way to enjoy the history of 150 years of college football.
So you're saying Charlie Rodgers couldn't outrun Ray Lewis and
I don't think so.
Sean Taylor and company?
I don't think so.
You don't think that would go well? No, but I will say this. When you read and you research, because I wasn't alive in 71 and I didn't watch that stuff, it's kind of cool to see the past teams and to see the most dominant teams. And I really think the only way you can go and say who the most dominant team ever is, did you beat a bunch of really good teams? And that year, Nebraska, they beat 2, 3, and 4 in that season in the final poll. So, and 17 if you want to throw that in there, but that's pretty amazing when you're talking about beating Oklahoma, Alabama, and Colorado and wiping them out, some of them out by 30 points. So Nebraska had the best quote-unquote resume.